When we're looking at the state of Duel Links over the past 5 months, the power creep of the game has been like pumping up anchor arms to jerk. Remember, around a year ago, Magnet Warriors were tier 1. I'm just messing with you, they still are. But we're hitting that point where Konami is just like, Eebly Log, Dark Hole, hey Steve, you got anything else? Yeah, here. They don't care anymore. Duel Links is a really strong game now, at the point where going second means you can go make yourself a snack while you wait. Overall, I think it's a good thing, but that doesn't translate to a good meta. Because while this meta is strong, it's not really diverse. I've done the why I hate and why I love the meta videos in the past, so here is why I am lukewarm and indifferent to the meta. Mekk Knights are clearly the best deck in the game. Tier 1 on multiple different lists, tournament representation like crazy, but when we're looking at this archetype that is also squeezing its way into a bunch of other decks, we gotta look at the floodgate. After the salad hit, I said this game was about to be taken over by a continuous trap, and well, yeah, kinda. Imagine Magnet Warriors trying to do, well, anything against this card. That's kind of what I mean. The whole secret is literally just a one-sided skill drain thing is a meme, but I mean, yeah, kinda. It's not the worst thing in the world, but it gives an already cracked archetype access to one of the best floodgate effects of all time. And they're the only ones that get to use it. But I did say the archetype is cracked because even without secret, Mekk Knights are a serious force. If the deck was a little bit more consistent, it could be pushing tier 0 status in some tier lists. Overall, I'm pretty indifferent to the deck. I don't like secret. I do think it'll get weaker as time goes on, but since it's a free-to-play limited to 1 card that's still causing all kinds of problems, I honestly wouldn't be surprised if it became the 5th banned card in the game's history. Or they'll do something idiotic like limit Blue Sky to 1. Maybe limiting Indigo to 1 is the play, but even then, with its own summoning effect and then memory, amazing use can still be made out of World Legacy Secret. However, I enjoy the deck's playstyle and gimmick, fairly unique to interact with the columns, banishing to search, link toolbox, it's all really cool and up my alley. If we're being real, it's just because secret is a goddamn sin. I respect Infernoid a lot. Highly tiered all over the place, affordable deck almost entirely in 1 box. That happens to be a good box. Those are rare credentials for a deck in Duel Links. I was really excited for this archetype when they were first announced for Duel Links, but I hadn't read Feast yet. Once again, it's like, my dudes, what is it with all the powerful trap cards going in you new archetypes? It's simple but powerful. Decatron is my man, and Devyati is still one of my favorite boss monsters in the game right now. But Infernoid just forces a lot of decks to, Monster Negate, essentially a flock of DD Crows, built-in Harpy's Feather Duster, Toolboxy Extra Deck, roided up Archetypal Lance, and oh yeah, a trap card that summons up to 3 monsters from the deck at once. Hey, remember when Dynamis was good? Now look, because of these things, Infernoid doesn't have a lot of bad matchups. They have a lot of bases covered while completely trashing decks like Salamangreat and Burning Abyss, assuming they don't brick. Even Mekk Knights can be caught receiving the business from Infernoid. Overall, I like this deck. I don't think it really needs a restriction. Like I really don't, but I can see the argument for it. Debatably the strongest affordable deck in the game right now, and I can get down with that. I said in a video a while back that the difference between tier 0 salad and tier 1 or 2 salad is roar. And well, yeah, kinda. Salamangreat hasn't changed too much. It's still consistent as all hell, even more than Mekk Knights and Infernoid, and also happens to be a predominantly free-to-play deck as well. I also said in a previous video that Konami could do too much or too little with Salamangreats in terms of restrictions, but that I hoped they would just hit that sweet spot. And I think they did. The deck feels fair, it's scrappy, duels against it are usually pretty intense, so I like Salamangreat, probably my favorite consistently tiered deck as of the moment. Oh, and by the way, join the Eagle Nest. Oh boy. Master Ogre really delivered a bigger pizza than I was expecting. What a great turn 1 for Gouki when set up properly. And going second, they've never really had a problem with. However, this deck is inconsistent with that turn 1 and can even still be lethal through it. But the addition of Expendable Die and Warrior Die Greffer's commitment to the 28-week Brazilian butt lift program has also given Gouki a nice boost in the turn 1 department. Gouki's meta status feels quite frail. The deck just can't consistently beat something like Mekk Knights. A lot of mixed feelings on this deck going around, and I get that. On one hand, it's a cool comboing fast deck that easily sends you on win streaks, and on the other, well, just, yeah, nah, mate. It ain't fun being on the opposite end of it, especially with the deck's unbelievable surge in popularity recently, giving out king of games like they're Santa Claus. Kinda reminds me of going second with Black Wings 2, and the opponent almost always scooping before Simoon is even fully revealed. Overall, I have no strong feelings one way or the other. Persuade me in the comments, I don't know. I really don't have much to say about DDD, pretty much the same as always, just still insanely strong with heavy restrictions, but I like it. It's cool to see them still hanging around in most tier lists. Now, I hate resorting to the I'm on both sides nonsense, but there is no deck more polarizing to me right now than Trickstar. I think the deck is strong, but sometimes it just completely spins out. I love the archetype, but I wish it was built differently. Only 3 names in the deck is kind of underwhelming considering the other possibilities for the archetype, but it is optimal. So I mean, yeah, it's cool, and they're doing that same needle sealing thing that Salad does, and that is also very polarizing to me. So yeah, overall, Galaxy Eyes is Galaxy Eyes. Code Talkers are one of my favorite decks right now, and while not tiered anywhere, they still compete with the meta. Taking on all different shapes and sizes, but all towards the same goal of link spam hell for the opponent. Plus, they make great use of the Math Mech cards, and that's huge style points for me. Not as much representation as I would hope, another victim of the Mekk Knights slapping their brand right on their face. Burning Abyss is by far my favorite deck right now. Cleanse the sins of last month with another cog this month, boy. Debatably the weakest deck I've talked about in this video, but I don't think so. Piloted correctly, this deck can eat up Gouki, Salads, Trickstar, and Galaxy Eyes. An okay matchup with Mekk Knights, but a hard one to consistently win. And Infernoid, yeah, nah. And ends up in stalemates with DDD, but often BA just gets overwhelmed by DDD's board presence and can't pull out a win. So yeah, I think this meta is the definition of a 5 out of 10. Not a lot of diversity at the higher level decks and inconsistent performances from the rest of them. However, this meta is strong, and at the very least, it is somewhat interesting. But that's just my opinion. A lot of what I talked about was through personal taste, so it's just a discussion to have. I thank you guys for watching, and I will see you in my next video.